Good afternoon. Today's topic of discussion is going to be the Las Vegas luxury real estate market update for February 2014. This is Dale Snyder with the luxury division of the Snyder Group, team-driven real estate with Keller Williams Realty here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So, to prep you here, we're going to go over some data that's going to be included at the bottom of the video, at the end of the video here, where you can click at all of this great data that we're providing for you. If you are receiving our luxury newsletter, fantastic. Feel free to share it. If you're not, make sure to shoot us a quick email and ask to be added to the luxury newsletter, where we're putting out great content monthly. So the way that we've let me back up. I'm going to go over the data, then I'm going to give you a pulse or a summary of where things are appearing to be heading. So we've broken it down, as always, from the $500,000 to $750,000 price range, $750,000 to $1 million, $1 million to $2 million, and $2 million and above, because each one of those markets is a little bit different, and we want to differentiate them a little bit here. So let's jump right into the data. So in January, we saw 46 homes sell in the $500,000 to $750,000 price range, with a average list to sale price at 96%, average sales price per square foot of $168 per square foot. The most important information that I like to look at is where are we going moving forward here, right? So we've calculated our escrow fallout rate, which is pretty accurate, but we're going to start doing that on a 90-day average, so it'll be more accurate. But based on the escrow fallout rate from the previous months, we're looking at about 50 to 51 sales in February, because we have 127 in escrow right now, and the fallout rate for every 2.4 deals that go into escrow, 1 closes. So if you look at last February, we saw 28 sales. So if that data is accurate, we're going to see a huge spike in closings in that price range. So let me take a quick look here at the $750,000 to $1 million. So we saw 19 sales in the $750,000 to $1 million price range, of which 95% of the asking price was the sale price. Can I say that any more confusing? So list price to sales price average, 95%. Average sales price per square foot is 186. It looks to averaging at about 200 a foot if you look at the last year. If you look at our potential sales for next month, based on our in escrow and our fallout rate, we're looking at about 14 sales in February. There were 16 in February of last year, so pretty close to about the same. Looking at the $1 to $2 million price range, there were 12 sales in the month of January, with an average sales price to list price of 93%. And average sales price per square foot is about $250, $245 for the month. But I looked at every sale individually, and it's about $250 per foot. I think the high we saw in this range was like $400 a foot. If you look at our escrow fallout rate and what's in escrow, we're looking at about 15 to 16 sales for the month of February. We had 11 in February of last year, so you know, a little bit of an uptick there. It's going to be one of the better months. I think 21, 22 is the most sales we saw in the $1 to $2 million price range last year, but that was in our, that's a seasonal thing. You know, in the spring and the fall is when we see our highest amount of sales. All right, moving on to the $2 million plus. We saw 3 sales last month. We average about 5 a month in the $2 million plus range. The negotiation was great in the favor of the buyer in January. 74% of the sale to list price, so quite a bit of negotiation room there. And we're seeing on the 90-day rolling average about an 84%. So buyers, 16% off of list price is what you're seeing on average for the sales in the $2 million plus. And sellers, you know, you obviously know that, or if you don't, now you do. If you look at the average price per square foot, we're looking at about $300 a foot. This varies. You know, our highest sale for January was like $565 a foot. You know, as you know, giving a price per square foot isn't necessarily the best thing to be doing in the luxury market, because the upgrades can vary drastically. But we just use that as a benchmark so you can have a pulse on what we're seeing. That's obviously going to vary drastically. Okay, if you look at our escrow fallout rate, we're looking at 6 to 7 selling in the 2 million plus range, and we saw 6 sell last February. The one thing that I didn't touch on that I want to tie into, and I'm going to quickly bounce from one of these to the next, is our current absorption rate, which will tell us the month's supply of inventory based on what's going on in the market. So looking at this, and this is where seasonality can throw this off. So, you know, oftentimes in this sector of the market, the sellers take their homes off the market and the buyers, you know, they're out of the market during the holidays. So we usually see a bit of an upswing. So about a 10-month supply of inventory in the $500,000 to $750,000 range, 10-month, 10.5-month in the $750,000 to $1 million, and about a 15-month supply in the $1 to $2 million, and a 2-year supply in the $2 million plus, which isn't uncommon in our market. So tying this all together, what we're going to be doing moving forward is we're going to be tracking the amount of homes and estates coming on the market per month. So that way we can trend to see how many more are coming on the market and how does that relate back to the previous year at the same month, so we can get a better pulse on what's going on with things. The more data, the better, right? So what I'm seeing here on the ground in the luxury market is a big upswing right now in sellers. You know, we work a lot with luxury, higher net worth coastal clients. I'm getting referrals from other luxury agents. So we're seeing a big influx of the out-of-state luxury owners getting ready to put their homes on the market. So we see the inventory increasing quite a bit right now. And if you look at it, I've got the data here. In the 1 million and above, we saw 49 homes come on the market last month, and 9 on the market so far in the first 4 days of February. So that's 2 a day right now for the month of February. And the 1 million plus, we saw 17 sell. So we're seeing about a home every other day come on the market, and about a home and a half coming on the market. So our inventory is definitely coming up right now. So the other important thing here, as I've mentioned in a previous video, is the amount of financing happening in the luxury market. You know, I looked at the 15 sales from January in the 1 million plus in the Vegas Valley, and 9 of those were financed. Well, technically 8 were financed and 1 was an owner will carry. So that's a huge percentage of them being financed. You know, interest rates are projected to go up this year, so that's definitely going to impact the buyer's position in the market. So in summary here, it's looking to be a great year in the luxury market nationally and locally here in Las Vegas. So if you're having thoughts of selling, or if your home is already on the market and you're not getting the results you're wanting, or if you're a buyer looking in the luxury sector, you know, I encourage you to reach out to me so we can have an educated conversation on what's going on in the market, and I can give you some professional opinions on what might be the best play for your specific needs. This is Dale Snyder with the luxury division of the Snyder Group Team Driven Real Estate at Keller Williams Realty here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Make sure to like the video, share it. If you got our newsletter, feel free to share it. Give me some feedback. Are there other things that you'd like to hear about that we're not providing? And that's all we've got for today. Have a fantastic, fantastic week.